name of the list will be friends, and then I add some values or elements to this list, and then here is the for loop. So I write a for loop start always with for a friend. Friend in this case, it's for each element in this list. You can this variable, give it any name you like, but in this case, because we have a friends list, so for friend in a friends list, and then you do a column, and then when it's very important thing here, the intending, it must be after the column 4 spaces, otherwise you will get an error. Always make sure about the intending part, and then when we run this code, it will print out all the elements of that list. So and then when you this print statement, it's break the line and make a new line, so you will get each element in a new line. So after that, once you have your list, you can enhance the print statement by adding some text. So when you do, it's the same example, but here I just add some text to it. So it will print this string hi, and then it will print each element in that list. So it will print hi John, and then the new line hi Mark, hi Janet. So as I said, the print statement is automatically does a line break or a new line. So that was a very simple and basic example about list iteration. And now we will take a look about string. It's very similar to lists. And I hope everyone know what the string means. The string means a text included in quotation marks. So I give my string a name, string equals to loops, and then for a character in string, print character, and this for loop will print each character in this string. So it will print these letters. Also a new line, new line, new line. And also because strings has many methods, so you can apply also some methods to the string when you before printing. So at the same example here, for character mean each letter in this text, and string in this string, and add this line character is equals to character dot upper, and this method makes all letters capital letters. So it will be like LOOBS, the same but in the uppercase. And for loops has we call it control statements. So you can control in the loop, and these statements, control statements, start with a break statement. What it does, the break statement is very useful for intercepting the for loop. For example, we have the same list as before, friends list, and then for each element in that list, if we add this if condition, if friends equals to Mark, so when this equals to this, and then break, so the loop break. So it starts from John, printing John. Mark is this is a short list, but sometimes you have a list from 100 or 1,000 elements, and in that case you can specify where you want your loop to break. In that case, just to understand, I say if friend is equals to Mark, then break. What this break statement did in our example, once the friend in a friends list match it with Mark, it broke out the for loop and ended immediately. So it stopped. Another control statement, you can use it in a for loop, is continue. So with this statement, you can break the current iteration without finishing it, and it move on to the next one. So break, break the loop, but the continue, it will just skip it and continue iterating through this sequence. So for example, also I have the same list, the same for loop for friend and friends. If a friend is equals to Mark, then continue, and then we print it. And if you look to the output, it print John and Janet, and it skips Mark. So it's going to skip the print part of Mark and just move to printing Janet. So yeah, just skipping. So you can control which element you want to skip and then continue printing the others. Okay, we have also a range. So we are able to combine range function with a loop in order to specify how many iterations it should go through. The range function starts with 0 and ends with n-1. What that means, we will see in our example. Since with 0 we have n numbers. Okay, the range in this example, range 5 means 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it stops one step before 5. So for element in this range from 0 to 5, print element. So it will start printing from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it stops 1 before 5. So in that example, n is 5. So 5 minus 1 is 4. And we can also print a text using the range function in a for loop like this. So it will print this text 5 times. But we can also define the beginning of the range. So here we didn't define the beginning of the range, so it will automatically start from 0. But we can define that. Example, I will just do a short one. So for an element in range, for example, 1 to 5, so we start from 1 or from, okay, let's do it from 2, 5, and then colon, enter. Yeah, when you do the colon and enter, the Python do the intending automatically 4 spaces. So print oh, that's syntax error. Oh, we forgot the n. Okay, sorry. Okay. So it will start printing from 2 and ending 1 before the last element. So in that case, we define where can the range start. Okay. And also we can manipulate defining a step between iterations. I will take the same example, but I will start from 1 to 5 and in 2 steps. So it will start from printing 1 and then skipping 2, printing 3, skipping 4, and then it stops because it ends at 5 minus 1. Okay, else. Even though you are not using the if statement, you can use else. You can combine it with a for loop. So also the same example for element in range 1 to 5. We want to print each element in that range, and else print done. What this else statement does, once the loop is broken, so when it's finished, it's stopped at 4, it will print, yeah, in that case, I just add a string. and then it will print it. So it will print the same as above, but when it ends, it will print done. Okay. Bus, this also, yeah, if you write a for loop, you cannot leave the for loop empty. So to not get an error, just for example, you start for x in range for bus, and then you will not get an error. It doesn't do anything, so it will print an empty. Yeah, the output will be empty. So that was a few basic examples about for loop. I'm not going to make it long, so I will move to the while loops. Okay, so the while loops runs as long as the condition is failed. We usually use the variable to serve as a counter in order to know when to stop it. What that means, we will see together in this example. So here in this example, we set the counter to 1, and every time it iterates, we increase it by 1. We will talk more about it later. And when it until it reaches 5 and finishes. So we need to set a counter before start writing the while loop. So the count will start from 1. You can add any number you like, but yeah, here I put it 1. So while count, this variable is equals or less than 5, print count, and count is yeah, here because if you do count is equals to +1, it will assign this again to count. So you do a plus sign and then the equal sign. So it will add 1 to this variable in each time as long as this count is less or equals to 5. So it will print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5 here means 4 plus 1, because yeah, it stops at 5. So it doesn't print 5 and plus 1. Okay. So as the for loop, we can also combine while loop with other statements and comments. Like we use the control statement. Anyone asking something or no? Okay. So we can use the break. Yeah, control statement is similar to the for loop break. Yeah, but it's good to have an example about it. So we set our counter to 1 as before. So while count is less than 5, print count, and then we add if count is equals to 4, then break. So it will break. This loop will break when this count is reached number 4, and it will print 1, 2, 3, 4. So it doesn't continue after the 4. Okay, here I forgot to mention that you can replace this with this. So you can do count is equals to count plus 1, and then you get the same results. Okay, the else statement, as we saw in the for loop, also we can use the else statement, and it will print something when the loop is finished. Okay, so this is a couple of examples from the while loop, and we have also one example about nested loops. Nested loops means it's a loop inside another loop. So in this example, we have I have created 2 lists, my list and my list 1. My list is 1, 2, 3. It's a continue 3 strings, and also my list 1 is 5, 6, 7. So what how we can do write a nested loop. So for element, as before, elements mean each element in this list, in my list, and then intending for element 2 in my list 1. So, and for each element in this list, print element 1 and element 2. So it will take one word from the first list and one word from the second list and makes all combinations. So it will take this with this and print it, this with this and print it, this and this, print it, and then yeah, continue for the second element, the third element, etc. As you see, this is the output. Okay. Now, for example, if you have a list and you want to do some calculations on the values on that list, so it's really useful to use a for loop. We will see how we can do that. So I have created this list with numbers. It's linked. It's in centimeters. So 107. 87 centimeters, so it's for people length. And then I would like to convert this from centimeters to meters, for example. So how can I do that, automate that using the for loop? So I start with creating a new empty list and I give it another link. So it's linked. Okay, it's good to change this to links in centimeter so we can see the difference. So links in centimeter equals to this numbers, and we start creating a new list, empty one, and then we start writing the loop. So this loop will convert the links from centimeter to meter, and then it will add the result to the new empty list. So it's two parts. First, converting, and then adding each converted element to this new list. So how we write that? So we do for I as I said before, you can give this variable any name you like, but it's good to be something you yeah, related to what are you doing. So for I in length, here I need to change it as well to centimeter. I is yeah, so it will take each element in this list and then divide it by 100. This is the first part of the loop, and the second part is to adding, after converting, adding to this list. So it would be linked meter dot append. We use this appending I. So it will take I, which means this element and this element and this element, divided by 100, and after that add it to this list. And when it finishes, it will print this text and a length meter, and it will print this new list. And as you see here, the output, it will be in meters. So 187, it will be 1.78, etc. So it's very useful automating these calculations on the values on the list. Yeah. And now, okay, that's also very important for those who are learning now data science and working on data with data sets. So in this example, I will first create a small data frame, and then using pandas, and then I will show you how to create a new column based on a column's values in this data frame. So I think it's also useful to know how we have to have an idea how to create a data frame from that in this case I did a dictionary. So initializing data, this is the dictionary name. This is the key and value. So each key can have many values. I think you know that. So the first name is the first key, and this is the values. And then after that, we give our data frame a name. It's a df, and then we use pandas.data frame, and then we do the dictionary name, and then specify our columns and print out the data frame. So we have now a data frame from 3 columns and 6 rows. It has a first name, last name, and marks. Marks here I assume that they have an exam and they get their results, or the marks on the results. But if you look to this data frame, okay, for example, Tina here has 36 marks, but did she pass or fail? We don't know that. So here we need to create a new column, and then for each mark here, for each column, we have to add like a text. So pass or fail. We will see how we can do that easily with loops. So we create a new list. This list will later be our column here. So will be added and to the data frame as a new column. And then we start writing our loop for value in df marks. So for each value in this column, if the value is equals or more than 50 result, this new list dot append bus. So it will add this text to this list. I will repeat it again. For each value in this column marks, if that value is equals or more than 50, it will add this text to this list. Else, if not, it will append or add failed. So if it's more than 50, it will add pass, so succeeded, or fail if they don't have 50 marks. And then the F result is our new column, will be the result. So it will be this list. So when we finish this, we will add a new column to our data frame, and that new column will be this list. And then when we print out the data frame, we will see we got a new column with fade pass. So it will do that automatically. It will go through each element, each value in this column. Okay, look at it. It's less than 50, so fail. More than 50, pass. And in that way, you can know easily who fail and who pass. So this is an example on what you can do on data frames with loops. And yeah, so now we are almost at the last part of this presentation, and it's the fun part of it. How to create a game. This game is a guess a number. So in this game, we will create this program or this game, and when you run it, it will give you a question. Guess a number between a specific range. I will show you how to define this, and you will try to guess a numbers that the computer has chosen. For to create this game, we need to import an extra module. It names random. This model, we can generate a random numbers. Random numbers for example, passwords, or for games like this one, for a dice game, for whatever. So you can generate random numbers. This is a very important and useful module. And then we will create our first variable. But before that, we see here rand range. What is rand range, in case you are asking? So it's a method returns a randomly selected element from a specified range. So this method returns random numbers between a range you can define. And I just did it from 1 to 10 to make it a little bit easier for us for later to guess a number, because guessing a number between 1 and 500 takes like the whole night to figure out what this number. And so this variable x is the random number will be chosen by the computer. So this is the number we will try to guess. So this is the computer will choose a number between 1 and 10. And we create another variable. I call it guess. And this variable will be the input of the user. So later, every one of you will guess a number, and we will try who will guess it. So guess is a variable, and for this variable, we need to have an input, and the input must be an integer, a number, not a text. So when it asks you guess a number between 1 and 10, you just do a number between 1 and 10. You don't write a text like 1 or 2 as a text. So guess is integer, and then input, and this is the message you will get when you run it. And then our loop. So while guess, as long as this variable is not equals to x, is not equals to this variable, print sorry you guessed wrong, try again, and then backslash n means a new line. So you will guess again. So you have another time to try. So while guess is not equals to x, so while this variable, what we will input, our input is not equals to the computer, what the computer has chosen, it will print out sorry you guessed wrong, try again. And yeah, you have to put this again, so it will run it one more time, because if you didn't put it in the inside the loop, it will run it only one time. So this one, just copy and paste it here, and it will run as long as you didn't know the answer. Okay. That's it. So okay. Oh, I forgot the last part. So here, if you guess good, it will print woohoo, you guessed right. So you celebrate. So I want from you if you can choose a number now, so we can try to figure out what the computer has chosen. So this the output, guess a number between 1 and 10. Can anyone give me a number so we can?
Do we need to put it in the chat, or?
Oh no, just say it, and I will try.
To say it.
If it didn't succeed, we will move to the next one. Anyone?
Paulo, you can go because I saw you put it in the chat.
Oh yeah, number 7.
Okay, 7, and then hit enter. Okay, sorry, you guessed wrong. Try again. And it
How
runs
about
again.
5?
5. Sorry, wrong. Try again.
2.
2. Wrong. We still
Number
have
4.
7 times. Sorry? Sorry, the last one. What did you say? 4?
Yeah, I heard 4 too. But
3?
Zobran, you also put something.
Okay. It's 3. Who said 3?
Me.
Zobran.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
So it's
lucky day, man.
yeah. So here it's simple lines of code, and you can have your game. So that was it. I hope it was interesting. I hope you could learn something from it. And if anyone would like me to share this notebook with, so please put your email on the chat. I can send it later. And also you have my email on this presentation, so you can contact me for further information or any questions. And people who would like to continue studying, or they are new in the database, also you can ask me questions. And people who are close to our company or even far, you are also welcome. We can set a date if you like to visit us one time to see how we work from inside the company. And this is my LinkedIn profile in case you would like to add me. And thank you very much for joining today. And I hope you like it. And if anyone has any questions, please, it's the time.
Yes, thank you, George, and thank you, everyone, for tuning in. If you have any questions, please ask them now.
It was pretty clear for me. I mean, it was pretty clear. So good presentation. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Paulo. I hope you have something new. You have seen something new, and
Yes, of course. Yes, I did.
yeah.
All right, if there are no other questions, I would like to ask you to fill in this short survey. It takes only 2 minutes, so we can improve our meetups. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the rest of the evening. I'll put the link for the survey in the chat.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the meeting, guys.
Yeah, thank you for joining us, and I hope in the future we will see you again, guys. We have a lot of interesting things to share with you. And if any one of your friends also like this kind of meetups, so you are welcome. And enjoy.
Okay, guys. Thank you very much. Enjoy your evening.
Yeah.
See you soon.
Okay, bye.
Goodbye.
Thank you, George. It was great.
Yeah, you're welcome, Timera.
So have a nice evening, everyone.
Yeah, have a nice evening, everyone. And GB, do you need anything else?